Are you smart with your money? Do you have money left over at the end of each week, or are the last few days before payday a bit of a struggle? It turns out there are some major money mistakes that we all make that will make sure we never stay in the black. Want to find out what they are? Welcome to Mindnificent. In today's video, we're exploring 10 money mistakes you should avoid at all costs. Click that subscribe button if you want to be smarter with money and learn all the things about getting rich. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Mistake number 1. Not having a financial goal. First things first, what's the plan when your paycheck rolls in? Not having a clear financial plan and strict budget is kind of like walking around aimlessly just for the sake of it. This kind of mentality means money burns a hole in your pocket. If you have it, you'll spend it. Pull out the old Excel spreadsheet and track your income and expenses. It'll not only help you plan when to pay each bill, but it'll also help you identify any wasteful and habitual spending. You should set yourself both short-term and long-term savings goals, as well as know where every dollar is headed. Do you need a new car? Saving for a deposit for a house? All these things take time and planning. Your goals should be detailed. Include dollar figures, deadlines, milestones, and write down any possible roadblocks that could derail your goal. And while it's important to set challenging financial goals, it's also important to be realistic. Having a concise budget and a clear, documented financial goal is one of the best ways to begin to be accountable for your money. Mistake number 2. Get rich quick schemes. We've all seen the ads. Earn 4 figures per week from home, or triple your investment in 6 months with no effort. They're usually accompanied by a tiny disclaimer in fine print or an exorbitant joining fee. The old adage is generally spot on. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. This doesn't stop the internet from being awash with get-rich-quick schemes, MLM pyramids, Ponzi schemes, and scam cryptocurrencies. Don't get me wrong, some of these schemes do make some people very rich. It's usually the company owners or scam artists that end up pocketing your hard-earned cash, though. This also applies to financial gurus and YouTube coaches who claim to give you million-dollar investment tips or financial strategies for just a small subscription fee. The truth is, if they had the secret to making untold fortune, do you really think they'd be giving that information away for $39.99 per month? Or would they be using these secret tactics to make themselves even wealthier? At the end of the day, there's no such thing as easy money. At least, not at first. Mistake number 3. Having just one source of income. It's easy to get complacent, especially if you've been in the same job for years. You know how much you're going to earn each paycheck, and you can easily make big financial decisions knowing there's a steady stream of money coming in. And if 2020 taught us anything, it's that no job is safe, and that steady source of income can dry up almost overnight through no fault of your own. Even if you have a high-paying job, it's wise to open up at least one other stream of income. It doesn't have to be another full-time job on the side either. Income streams can come in the form of stock dividends, deposit interest, selling artistic projects, freelancing, consulting. The list is literally endless. The best income streams are passive, ones that you can set and forget, earning your money without any ongoing effort on your part. They may not be enough to allow you to quit your day job, but they'll absolutely come in handy if you're forced onto unemployment and have to scramble to find a new job. Mistake number 4. Spending more than you make. This one is a bit of a no-brainer, but almost all of us do it at some point or another. The credit culture of today's instant gratification world means that we often defer our financial responsibilities to next pay. With access to lines of credit, loans, and afterpay solutions, the temptation to enjoy now and pay later can be overwhelming. But the problem is, you still have to pay for it after the impulse euphoria wears off, with interest. You should approach these purchase decisions as if those services aren't available to you. It's funny how much your need can downgrade to a want when you can't afford it. Credit cards promote impulse buying. Those that use cash or debit solutions more often are much more likely not to overspend and fall into debt. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology found that people spent up to 100% more when they paid via credit card instead of cash. Credit cards should be for emergency use, if at all, with purchases repaid immediately. But speaking of emergencies, mistake number 5, not having a rainy day fund. Life happens. Cars need repairs, things break, or you could lose your job. If your income suddenly dried up, how long could you last before the situation became dire? Things can quickly get messy and complicated if you don't have an emergency fund. Most financial gurus recommend you save up to 6 months' worth of living expenses, but if you want to be extra cautious, then 1 year is a great goal to set. Having an emergency or rainy day fund is great because it means if you ever do run into an unexpected expense, a medical emergency, or an employment interruption, you don't have to borrow or use credit cards to bridge the gap. The best place for it is likely in a bank account, such as a savings account where you can access the money quickly. Mistake number 6, shopping for the sake of it. How many times have you just wandered into a store or shopping mall just to see what's on offer? Same with our online shopping. Do you ever find yourself just browsing page after page of eBay auctions or fashion websites looking for nothing in particular? You might think you're just browsing, but in actuality, you're setting yourself up to waste money on impulse purchases. Pop-up ads, flash sales, and bright store displays are acting on our lack of self-control and need for instant gratification, and before we know it, we've made a spur-of-the-moment purchase we never planned on. If you do have to go shopping, either in person or online, do it with a sole purpose in mind. Make a shopping list and stick to it. Head straight for the aisle or item page without detouring for a quick browse. Mistake number 7, having only one bank account. You might think having all your money in one place makes managing your finances easier, but you'd be dead wrong. Having only one bank account makes money management vastly more difficult for a number of reasons. Firstly, with all your emergency savings, salary, and disposable cash in the same place, the temptation and opportunity to overspend is massive. It's easy to dip into your savings this week for a boozy night out or a splurge on an online sale, but you're only borrowing from yourself. Secondly, most people have multiple services and subscriptions that bill your bank account directly. It's very rare that they all line up either. Your phone bill might debit on the 1st of the month, Netflix on the 15th, and your gym membership might be every second Tuesday afternoon. This makes things incredibly hard to track, especially when you forget about that end-of-the-month direct debit. The payment bounces and you're left to pay an exorbitant dishonor fee. Ideally, you should have at least 3 segmented bank accounts, one for everyday disposable spending, one for your bills, and one for your emergency or rainy day funds. You should also make it somewhat difficult to access your emergency account to remove temptation. Don't carry around the cards for the account or make it a branch-only access account. Mistake number 8, not optimizing your tax. Understanding how the tax system works can unlock literally tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. There's an entire tax return and accounting industry whose sole purpose is to find ways to pay less of it. You may not need an accountant every tax return, but it's always sound advice to consult an accountant or financial advisor every few years to do a tax and finance health check. Tax regulations and government incentives change all the time, especially when there's a change in government or major tax reform. A registered tax accountant can show you ways to reduce your taxable income, claim back legal deductions, and optimize your spending habits to use the tax system to your advantage. Mistake number 9, not shopping around. I know that we mentioned earlier that shopping for the sake of it was a big mistake, but that doesn't apply when trying to find a better deal on services you already are subscribed to. Brand loyalty is a huge thing, and many people feel comfortable with the same provider they've been with for years. Think power companies, cell phone providers, and banking institutions. We generally pick one, set our plans, and forget about them. But despite the belief that companies reward long-term customers, data suggests that the longer you are with any service provider, the less value for money you are actually getting. This is for a few reasons. Firstly, many subscriber-based services know that it's easier to get new business rather than retain their existing customer base. They can offer new customer specials, bonuses, and drastically reduced rates that are inaccessible for existing customers. Secondly, and this is especially the case in cell phone providers, long-term customers often sit on old legacy plans that have higher prices and fewer inclusions. Unless they specifically inquire, they can stay on these plans for years despite much better value plans now being available. It always pays to shop around when it comes to getting a better, more competitive deal with more value for you. Mistake number 10. Saving, not investing. Wait, isn't the ultimate goal to save money here? Well, yes and no. Saving is an absolutely necessary part of wealth creation, and we've stressed the importance of saving an emergency fund, but it should never be the ultimate goal. Even though storing your money in a bank will earn interest, it often only barely outpaces inflation, meaning that it's unlikely your money will ever substantially grow. Investing your money wisely means that you can create income streams and ways to continuously boost that initial investment. Term deposits, government bonds, and low-yield stocks are the safest option, but typically come with lower returns. Traditionally, investing in the stock market and real estate have been lucrative and have performed well for investors. But as markets evolve, more and more people are earning serious cash from investing in future industries, such as tech startups and cryptocurrencies. As with all things, all investments should only come once you've fully researched and understand what you're getting into. Do your homework and you may just bet on a winner. That's all we have time for today. Do you have any money hacks that we may not have mentioned in this video? Which of these money mistakes do you make in your life? Is it not optimizing your tax, or is it only having one bank account? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, please press the subscribe button because more magnificent content is on the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.